It was a quiet Wednesday evening, the kind where everything feels still, except for her thumbs, busy dancing across her phone screen. Without looking up, she made a passing comment that landed like a blow: "You're replaceable." No malice in her voice, no hint of conflict brewing. Just a careless remark, like discarding an old gadget that no longer served its purpose. But I knew better. That wasn't an accident. She'd chosen her words. They were sharp, calculated, designed to cut. I said nothing. Just gave a slight nod, pretending her words hadn't just cracked the foundation of everything we'd built. 10 years. A full decade of being present, patient, making sacrifices, lifting her up when she had nothing. When we met, she was drowning in bills and broken promises. I steadied her life, cleared her debts, supported her ambitions, gave her security she'd never known. And now, just like that, I was disposable. That night, while she slept soundly beside me, unaware of the storm she'd stirred, I made a choice. I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't ask her to take it back. She wasn't worth that kind of effort anymore. No, I'd leave, quietly, completely, and make sure she felt every echo of my absence. Over the next few weeks, I played the part. I smiled at her jokes, asked about her day, made her favorite meals like I used to when love was new. But behind that calm performance, I was slowly detangling our lives. The house? Bought before the marriage, solely mine. The cars? Registered under my name. The joint account? Mostly funded by me, and easily divided. The credit cards? Attached to my credit line, one call to sever. I consulted a lawyer, reviewed every clause, and tied up every loose thread. I would leave nothing to chance. Then came Saturday morning. She walked into the kitchen, confidence radiating from her like always, completely unaware that I had already severed the ties that bound us. "Any plans today?" I asked casually, handing her a cup of coffee. "Thinking of seeing some friends," she said, barely engaged. Then with a smirk, she added, "You'll manage without me, right? You're lucky I've stuck around this long." That was the final break. I placed a thick envelope on the counter. She glanced at it with mild curiosity. Inside, bank accounts emptied. Her credit cards cancelled. The car she drove reclaimed. Legal documents for separation, just needing her signature. She picked it up, her expression shifting. "What is this?" "It's what you asked for," I said evenly. "Freedom. Your chance to upgrade." She flipped through the pages, her fingers trembling as reality crashed in. She understood what she was reading. The legal language wasn't lost on her. Her lifeline had been cut. "You're actually doing this?" she asked, her voice barely steady. "You told me I was replaceable," I replied, locking eyes with her. "Now's the time to prove it." She had nothing to say. For once, she was silent, the weight of her own words finally settling in. "I didn't mean it that way," she tried, her voice lower, softer. "But you did," I said. "You've said it in so many ways for years." The message was clear. You just didn't expect consequences. "You're throwing away our marriage over one comment?" She pushed. "Not one comment. Years of being overlooked, belittled, and taken for granted." There were no raised voices. No theatrics. Just the quiet finality of truth between us. The silence in that kitchen said more than any shouting ever could. By the following week, she was gone. No house. No money. No safety net. The lifestyle she had once flaunted faded overnight. And the circle of so-called friends who'd always hovered around her wealth? Gone too. They vanished when the free rides ended. At first, her messages were bold. "You'll regret this." Then softer. "Can we talk?" Eventually, the texts turned long, filled with excuses, apologies, manipulations. Claims that she was under pressure. That I had never truly valued her. I didn't answer any of them. Every word just reminded me who she had become, and why I left. Months later, I saw her again. She was sitting alone at a cafe, tucked into a corner booth. She noticed me and waved, unsure, almost shy. The arrogance she once wore like perfume was gone. Replaced by something else. Remorse, maybe. Or the bitter knowledge of what she'd lost. I've been meaning to talk, she said quietly. I made a mistake. I really didn't think you'd ever leave. I thought you needed me more than I needed you. That was your miscalculation, I replied. You assumed I'd stay no matter how you treated me. That love made me your captive. She wrapped her hands around her coffee mug, trying to compose herself. Do you think there's any way we can fix this? That's when it hit me. The real strength was in the act of leaving. No, I said. Some things break in ways that can't be repaired. And you made sure of that. She nodded slowly, lips pressed tight, fighting back emotion. As I stood to leave, I paused and said, you were right about one thing. Everyone's replaceable. I just never thought it would apply to you. I walked out, not in anger, not in pain. Just with peace. The woman who once dismissed me as expendable had finally understood the lesson. The only thing truly irreplaceable is knowing your own worth.